Hello, it's Wednesday, May 31st, 2022. This is Joe. This is the latest in the reports of progress and visualization. Right at this moment, I'm in the secret room of the house. And what I've done has been, there was some insulation, and quite a bit of it had gone bad. And wasn't really something, I wasn't planning to keep it for various reasons, but I needed to clean up this room, get it ready so it will be foamed in and every other thing, electric, all that stuff. And so that's what I did yesterday and today. And there's a bunch of interesting things. To begin with, the plywood's off, covering the insulation. The insulation behind the plywood was particularly bad. It was all in like ping pong ball size pellets. I think the mice had chewed it in some weird way. I don't understand. That's that yellow pipe is the standpipe for the toilet. And we're in this place where we have a dormer window on this side and another window on the other side. Now, I did not order replacement windows for these. I didn't measure them. Didn't think about them. They're both framed in pretty much. It'll be easy to do those later. But basically giving you the tour from here, I've got first the west facing side and the south facing side. There was a bed up there, like the makings of a bed up in the attic. I took that down because they're going to have to access those upper boards to put the foam in. The spot I'm looking at right now is where we're going to put some kind of patio door. And it's usually the typical patio door needs a rough opening of 72 by 80 or maybe more, but basically sample space for that, and that will make this a much better lit space than it was. And then this is the part kind of going over above the mudroom and essentially above where the refrigerator is downstairs. But looking up, I took down some of the bigger items like a couple of doors in that bed and stuff and some boards to make it easier to access the high spots when they come and do the foaming, because that's what they really need the most, is to be able to get up there. Now, the other interesting feature here has been that because this was an add-on to the original house, they just built new peaks on this angled roof where it joined and left all the shingles and clapboards in place. And they've been there, and they're just incredibly dusty. Now, this changes the calculation for where the foam goes and how much we put, because basically two things are. One is we want the foam up in that space up there against the outer envelope. We don't need foam on the inside of this surface where the shingles are, because the shingles are within the thermal envelope, so it doesn't make any sense to put insulation on the other side when there's ample space to get around. And so the other piece is, we knew we were eventually going to end up putting a door into this side of the space. So I did a couple things. One is actually unsheathed a section of it so that if I go in here, you can look down and see that that's the door, that's the side room, that's the stairwell, and it's basically well over the height of a person to walk through here. And we're going to be taking a chunk out of this wall here right in front of me as we do it. Now, so that's kind of like a big difference, because now if you walk up the stairs and we get the debris off the floor, then you look in here, you can gaze into the secret room without needing to bend down and look through the hobbit door. Although the hobbit door is basically still there. So above the hobbit door we've just got this. Now I don't know exactly what I'll do or what we'll do or what the plan will be for that area. I'm inclined to remove all of the shingles as much as I can because they're just covered in dust. I'll never get rid of the dust in this place unless I remove them and or box them in with a little more substantial thing than what they had. These vertical slats had insulation on them that hid this whole thing from us before. And so now we just have to figure out what's the best way to use this. And it really means that like we don't have to, like this section of the wall, none of that from just to the left of the standpipe to roughly where the bigger hobbit door is, that doesn't need insulation on the other side. None of this sloping part that you see needs insulation, but the sloping part of the L does. So that's it. Now, most of this room is 16 inches on center. I will be putting in its 2x4s, the real 2x4s, and basically I will be roughing in electricity here. Pretty easy to just drill a series of holes through that and run the wire horizontally about 2 feet above the floor. But that's kind of it. Thank you so much.